proposed fiscal year 2027 budget. On the 12th day of May 2026 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall of Tazewell, Virginia, the Tazewell Town Council will hold a public hearing on the budget, parentheses, for information and planning for the fiscal year of 2026 and 2027, as well as the tax rates and fee schedules. The entire proposed budget may be inspected by the public from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday at the Town Manager's office in Tazewell, Virginia. Leanne Reading, Town Manager. I'm assuming I need to go and read all line by line?
I think you can do general fund, revenue, and expenses.
Yes.
I don't think you have to read the whole thing.
Right. Okay. Line by line, do general fund revenue, or just totals?
Estimated revenues for the proposed general fund would be $7,634,650. Expenses for the general fund would be $7,634,650. Water fund.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
Good? Yeah, I'll take it from there if you want. Good. For the water fund, the total proposed water fund revenues is $2,118,034.37. And the total proposed water fund expenditures is $2,118,034.37. Sewer fund, the total proposed sewer fund revenues is $1,744,079 even. And the total proposed sewer fund expenditures is $1,744,079 even. The IEDA fund, the total proposed IED fund revenues is $15,900.34, and the total proposed IEDA fund expenditures is $15,900.34, creating an even balanced budget. With that, I'll open the floor for any public comment.
Any comments from the council side?
Any comments from council?
I do. We had talked about this in this budget set for this year, and we had talked about capital improvements and the paving. And I received some concerns from some citizens in the community regarding the number of streets that we're paving. And one of the items that I had sent out in the email is utilizing the Planning Commission to generate a 5-year comprehensive capital improvements plan so that we know what we're aiming at, when that's coming to be action, and that is per charter supposed to be refreshed every year. Do you think that that's something that we can incorporate into future planning cycles for budget purposes?
So I had responded to your email, like, I thought that was something I was supposed to do. I didn't realize that Planning Commission was supposed to do that.
Well, and I do think in that, because you're in the day-to-day operations, like, I think there's, I mean, I don't want to degrade them by saying hand-holding, but basically collaboration, and you'll have to, point them, orient them in the right direction.
Right.
But that's something that, there's so many different features to our code and charter, and it's easy to look over some of these things. In terms of future planning, transparency with the public, that's an easy thing that's already on the books to be done that can basically build the transparency, so when folks are screaming about a street, they like, okay, we got you, that was coming up next year. Or maybe it's not being targeted for 3 years, so is that in the right position and priority for what we do?
I would absolutely work with Chris and the Planning Commission to do that.
Okay.
I just didn't realize they were the ones that.
Well, and I think that collaboration with them is really important because they, just like we hear a lot of chatter, from folks with their concerns, they all see the same thing. And a few of them surely have their own opinion on what things as well. But I do think that that's something in the budget process that can make us more effective from this point onward, basically. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Any other comments?
So we are talking about the budget, right?
Correct.
I think there's certain things that should be put in the budget so that they're not a donation request. Because donation requests would kill them.
I agree there are Things like the Tazewell County Fair. We had this kind of conversation a few years ago, and we did build that into the budget. So if there are things that we know that we are going to consistently get a request for, we can build that in.
I think what Ms. Bishop Sparks does with 4-H and those kids, I think we allotted them 700. Is that what we gave them last meeting or 2 meetings?
That sounds correct. It was 130 people.
Yeah, and she took 40 people in July on that camp. I'd like to see like $1,200 in the budget, and that way she doesn't have to come and ask, as long as her numbers stay up.
Would you want to do that with like Project Grad or?
No.
No?
Okay,
No.
so you all will approve the final budget in June. If you would like, I mean, you all have a donation line item.
I think you got this right on certain ones, you can be different. The line item is parts that you put in for donation.
And I wanted that. You know, we've discussed donation requests over the last several years, and the reason we came up with a formula for the amount of support that we have is to keep things symmetrical. We had talked in the past, just spin you guys up, and maybe another municipality did it, where it's like donation request, anything for the fiscal year is done every month, and we're done. We don't listen to donation requests every month, you know, through the cycle.
Okay, so in your all's donation line item for next year, there is $35,000 allocated for the whole year, okay? So if you would like to allocate funding for certain programs or donations that you consistently get, would you be open to me taking whatever amount you would say, giving them their own line item, but take it from that
Yeah.
and reduce that line item?
So how much did we go over this year?
We're over 50,000 this year, but it's a little bit funky because we had,
25,000.
yes.
No, it was one time.
That's right. We'll talk about that in
Yeah.
2 years. That was for really public improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it was from the same line as.
I get it.
right now you're at 66,756.
And we allocated 35,000.
The report I was looking at don't have that one, but I can find that for you. But would you all be open to that? I will create, or Jessica will create a particular line item for, 4-H camp.
I think that would be good, but I also think we kind of need to sit down and hash some of those out to see like which ones we want to be discretion, like, a priority of.
Right.
If we got $35,000, what's the priorities we want to hit?
Yeah.
Okay. So where I'm coming from is, do I need to change the budget any as far as what was just read, or can we work within our budget where we're at?
Well,
That's where I was going.
Well, in my opinion is we would be able to work with this budget and then going forward, we make the amendments that we need to.
Yes.
If we want to work through it this way, or moving into the next year, we actually line item it out. But
Okay.
I think to turn around and do that in one month would be
Pretty tough.
yeah, to really hash it out.
Yeah.
See what the priorities are.
I agree.
what if you make that a first quarter target? Do you say by the end of the first quarter, it's like, that's when you resolve all your, first quarter of the new fiscal year?
Mhm.
So that would put us like
September 30th.
September 30th. You say all donation requests are done, and then we don't have to fill that. Because we run into it, like I told 4-H camp no when Miss Tammy came up here, right? Because we did not have an amended budget, and we were overspend.
Yeah.
And for the same thing, we know that we're only not just some surplus, but you can avoid those, you can avoid that altogether if you target it within the first quarter. And that gives plenty of time to resolve.
September, so by first quarter, everybody has to have their donation.
Did you guys have something else that? you
No,
were-
I was just.
Oh, okay. all right.
Yeah, no, because it's like, we just want to make sure, whatever it is that if it's going to be worked into the budget, that's a whole bigger deal. Because then it's like whatever, we want transparency, we want to know, I think the public wants to know where their money's going and not just necessarily it's just in the budget every year.
Right.
Yeah, and that might be harder to make sure we know what's going on.
So for this year, we'll operate as it's laid out, and then aim to do that for budget session next year.
Okay.
That's what you're saying, if you have to request by January, then you can work it into your budget as you do your February, March.
No, I think within the next fiscal year,
Yeah, you'll have your request so that
you'll have your
next
request. You can go to them.
budget. Makes sense.
You can do it that way.
Can you put Juneteenth in there? They come up with 3,000 every year. That's in the budget, isn't it?
It's part of the, it's part of the donation line item.
They come to you all to ask for the donation.
Yeah, but that would definitely be one we would consider doing that with.
Oh, yeah.
Just for general, like situational awareness on community donations, because that's one of the things that, in looking at the total comprehensive expenses in the budget, community donations remain somewhere around 3% of our total, a little bit less than 3% of our total budget. So while this is important, this isn't the lion's share of where the spending is going.
Right. All right, any other comments? With that, I'll close the public hearing and we'll reconvene for the executive session in 2 minutes. Executive session, meeting is in order. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We'll go back to executive session. All right, we'll call the scheduled meeting to order. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Nate, would you please do the invocation?
Sure thing. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much we can gather this evening. Thank you that it's a beautiful day for us to gather. Thank you for those that serve. We thank you for those that choose to speak and be involved. We ask you to support out in our meeting that we can leave on peaceful terms, all of us, at the end of the night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. All right, first on the agenda, we have special presentation requests. We have the Billy Wagner Park Project update, Billy Wagner Park Committee.
Good evening, folks. Just to give you a little bit of an update, some timeline. This is the last time we were here. If you recall, this fellow, we brought him here back in, I think it was maybe in July or August. We actually announced the concept back in March of 25. The IDA and the council approved in April of 25. We actually formed a committee that following May. We started geotechnical work with core drilling at the park site between Marion and Maine on July the 18th. Our first fundraiser for the park was July the 25th, where Billy was introduced. July the 26th, Billy was actually introduced and inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Signed our sculptor contract on August the 6th. Sculpting actually began the following day, August the 7th. And this clay statue for Billy actually was completed on April the 30th, so just 2 weeks ago. The full life-size 5'9" statue of Billy has been completed in clay form. Mold and rotor coating of the actual statue started on May 4th, just 2 weeks ago. Literally, where he is covered, I think we have some pictures to that effect, if you want to start running those, just to get an idea where we are. We actually have groundbreaking set for May 18th, which is Monday. This picture was taken roughly back in, I want to say, probably December. And actually in South Carolina at the sculptor's studio in Camden, South Carolina. It was Kirby Smith. Just roll through them, we'll get to them pretty quick. This picture was actually taken just this past St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, with Mariah Kirby as the lady here in the red and white check, and that's actually Billy himself. She is actually taking pictures of his hands to show the fingers that are actually around the ball. Everything she does has very specific detail for the statue, which you will see hopefully very soon when we dedicate in October. Billy went down and actually met with us then to give the final approval on the last stages of the statue's completion. And there you can see he's pretty much about 85% complete there. That is Mariah on the left, Billy there in the middle. Linda Solansky is one of the managers for the sculpting studio there. And that was taken again same day in March, going through. That was part of our group. There was Brad Strong, Jerry Hurst, Jack Pyatt with Billy, same day. And another picture there around the hands. It's interesting, this process is fascinating, what it takes to actually make the statue. You have several different, I guess, steps. This first clay molding step started with foam. Actually, styrofoam is underneath with a rebar frame. It then progresses to where once he's finished, he is coated in rubber, covered in plaster, and we've got a couple pictures coming up with that, I think, here. Just, there's one of the originals there. Flip on to the next. Charity taking pictures of her own personal statue she got autographed down there. And of course, the Billy and Mariah same time. You can see the detail that goes into the statue. It's unbelievable. The amount of work and precision that she goes into, down to the ears, the whiskers on his face, to everything about him and his arm positioning. Mariah takes incredibly detailed both notes, pictures, and photographs, and works those into the sculpture itself. This was interesting. Just to get that Astros logo took a little bit of time for us. We had to go through Major League Baseball and get a specific licensing agreement to do that. It took us 9 months to get that licensing agreement signed by Major League Baseball, which we just received literally less than 30 days ago. So we called down and let Mariah know we were good to go with it, and she was able to put the Astros logo on his jersey and the Astros star on his hat. This is over there. Flip through the next. Just more pictures there. She has another statue in Camden, South Carolina. You all may have heard of Blair Dobby. Blair Dobby was the first American League player after Jackie Robinson to go to the Hall. He was from Camden, South Carolina. She has a statue of him not far from where her studio is located. And the detail on his uniform, his hands, the baseball, everything is exquisite. You're going to be really pleased with the finished product once we get it here. Actually, if you go back once, that one picture, that the mound will also be in bronze as well. So you'll have a full depiction of the mound. Billy will be mounted on a 3x6 piece of granite that will be inscribed on both the north and south sides, I guess, with the Marion Avenue and Tazewell, Main Street sides, with something with regard to his, of course, going to the Hall of Fame, and then we have a quote going for Billy on the other side. Pictures there with the back, of course, with his jersey. This was the day he was actually being taken out of the studio and literally being taken over to the hothouse where the molding process was going to start. And this is when it starts. Actually, those are what you see. Those are playing cards. Those are all done in individual sections. Each part of the statue is literally done like a puzzle. And it's molded and then cast and then cut, and then it all goes to the foundry in Texas where the actual bronze molding process takes place. As you can see, this series of photographs are several They go through each one of these sections, going through, that divides it up literally into a puzzle. The cards are used for purposes of, obviously, for making individual sections, just like you'd have mold on, or a seam on a slab of concrete, like you'd see on the sidewalk, except a little bit more detail with regard to the bronze. That's the actual pitcher's plate there for the mound. With Proverbs, one of Billy's favorite quotes from the Bible that he wanted to have put there. The week, basically. This was the stage where they started actually covering him in rubber. He would go from that particular, as you can see his arms are even missing. They take his arms off and do every individual piece. Then he'll be sawed up into individual pieces and then taken to Texas, as I mentioned. The actual statue itself, you think, well, how is it going to be supported? Billy will have a stainless steel skeleton underneath him that will be manufactured, made, forged in Texas, and then brought back with him to South Carolina for reassembly. We actually have a golf tournament scheduled for Friday. Just to give you an idea of some of our fundraisers, we've done a raffle basket. One of the first things we did, we had 2 paint nights, a 5K, St. Patrick's Day race at the Wayfair Appalachia. Our golf tournament scheduled for Friday. Marmon Half Marathon is dedicated to Billy June 13th. We start some t-shirt sales May 15th, which we're going to be doing. We have a sports banquet scheduled tentatively, which was going to be this month, but we're going to move it back probably hours to September. We also have our brick sales, which are still ongoing. Some folks may have seen these like at the train station or at the actual statue that they have for the coal miners memorial. We're selling these still for $120 a piece online with our Billy Wagner site. That is ongoing. Deadline for those is June the 19th. To date, we have raised a little over $100,000 toward our $300,000 goal. Of that, we have spent roughly $74,000. We have not touched the money that we've received from the town. It is still, as you'll note there from doing the quick math, all the money that we've spent has been going towards our geotechnical drilling, which actually happened on July the 18th, and dealing with our sculptor and painting her. We still have 10 committee members, but we've also hired an architect who has done these renderings. As you can see, folks, this will be the actual, at least the block diagram of how the actual park will look once we're done. That's at least our conceived idea for it. And an AI rendering, 2 of these. The only difference you'll see on here, the lighting will not be the same here. We'll be using what's called bollard lighting. This is about a 3-foot tall post lighting that will be more accent to the park itself. That gives you an idea of what the park is expected to look like. These sections will actually be in the brick pavers that we're selling. Around Billy, there will be base paths, just like on an infield. Grass that will also be done in the brick pavers as well. That's the idea for the design. Mentioned that we also used Alpha Land surveyors. We also have a construction consultant who will be overseeing the project from start to finish, literally starting this coming Monday. So construction schedule actually starts May 18th. We're still looking for a dedication for October the 17th, 2026. The only thing we'll ask more from the town, of course the town is, I should say, the town public works will be starting the demolition of the site on Monday, removing most of the trees to the dog park. Relocating those, we'll be reusing the flagpole, and then all we'll be taking off will be all the concrete that's on site, removing some of the soil and putting additional fill materials in to bring the park up to level. The actual site itself of the statue will be actually hollowed out, put with specific fill material as recommended by our geotechnical engineer for purposes of supporting the statue, which will weigh roughly between 7 and 8 tons. The rest of the park site, I know there were a lot of questions about that park. Will not support that. This is where Sayer Brothers used to be. And all they did was backfill full of lumber, glass, and who knows what else. We had core drilling done back in July of last year to confirm the security of the site, the integrity of the site. Also working with White House Engineering to determine what type of fill material will go back into the site to make sure that there is no conditions for settling for a project of this size. This, again, it's a very small project. The only thing we're going to have in terms of weight, the walls are going to be small, no taller than 3 feet, and then the statue itself will be the biggest amount of weight, which we are going to have that completely reinforced with both the fill material, the rebar reinforcement, as well as a fiber material which is being recommended by our engineer for purposes of making the foundation is roughly going to be about 5 to 6 feet wide to support then a 3-foot wide block of granite. So, any questions? Try to make it as quick as I could. It's not the others.
Probably show the drawings to the gallery.
Yeah, I'll start with this one. This is what, if you look guys, this is the corner of Main and Marion. And we're gonna have, there'll be a stage here. This will be all done in brick pavers. Ramps for handicap accessibility up on either side. There will be a town seal here in the middle, a county seal up on the stage. Billy will be here facing, the one thing that's really unique about it, there'll actually be a home plate over in front of the bank, 60 feet 6 inches from the statue to represent the natural pitcher's plate and mound and the home plate. And then the base pads will all be done in brick pavers. The interior will be done in grass here in front of the stage. And you think with grass, it's going to be, we'll do it with fiber soils, which will make it handicap accessible and utilized for durability and use, rather than something that's going to be easily torn up. Sometimes you get rain, water, and somebody standing on making a mess. Not going to happen. We also have benches that are going to be that's part of our back part of the project to go in 2 different locations. And this is an AI rendering of what the park will look like looking from the back toward Main Street. So, we're really excited about it with the committee. Looking forward to have it done. We hope that it's, not to say hope, we plan on it being a real iconic place for gathering on Main Street once it is completed. And we hope that the rest of the members of the town and surrounding county and area support it by buying one of the bricks and having their name there permanently ensconced on the park. I think it's a great project to do that. So.
Just a question. Well, first, thanks for all the tremendous amount of work that you all in the committee has done, towards making this project become a reality. It's an aggressive timeline, and you said you're about a third of the way into the fundraising. What are the next fundraising efforts after the golf tournament this week, which we're planning, looking forward to it, thanks for hosting it. What are the steps, and then what's the contingency plan if we don't reach the funding goal?
We've been working with our corporate donorship base over the course of the last really 12 months. So we're going to go back now that we actually have the architectural drawings. We're going to be going back for a second, third, sort of right and better interview with some of these folks who said they were excited about the project, and some have actually given us a commitment, at least verbally, as to what dollar amounts they were going to give. But we do not have that pen, it's not been put to paper yet, so that's really what comes next. Our big fundraiser we're looking to do is still going to be the banquet, which is probably going to be somewhere in I want to say August or September, if we can pull that off, because we initially had scheduled it for May. It was actually going to be next week. Our golf tournament got bumped a full month because of some double scheduling, so we've had some issues with that. But we're getting hard. Yes. Anybody have any questions for the Zoom? We're really excited about it. We're going to make it happen. I'm really lucky to have 10 people on the committee who are extremely enthusiastic about making it work and happen, because they were behind it as much as I was in terms of wanting to make it happen. With the addition of our architect and our construction consultant, we've got all the pieces in place to make this one not just, okay, we're going to erect a statue, we're going to have a beautiful park. It's going to be a permanent fixture on Main Street, which we really haven't had since that building was torn down back in the 80s. It's tried, and there's been a lot of efforts, but it's never found its footing. So we hope that this is something that we're going to make, something that the town and the county there is going to be proud of. Thank you. Thank you all.
So I just recognize that a mistake that I made, and I apologize procedurally. I made a mistake. We did not have a motion to come out of executive session, and I did not certify that session. So can we go ahead and do that now?
You did. Yep.
All right, I'll open the floor for a motion to come out of executive session. Got a motion? I've got a motion, I've got a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. All right, so we are out of executive session, and with that, I will read the resolution to certify that executive session. Whereas the Tazewell Town Council has convened an executive session on this date pursuant to the affirmed recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, And whereas 8.1-344.1 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this council that such executive session was conducted in conformity with the Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved, the Tazewell Town Council hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the executive session to which this certification resolution applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the executive session were heard, discussed, or considered by the Tazewell Town Council. With that, I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Tagish.
Aye.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Councilmember Fox.
Aye.
Councilmember Klein.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Hankins.
Aye.
Councilmember Willis.
Aye.
All right. So that is confirmed. Okay, now we will jump back into place on our agenda as scheduled. Tazewell today. I have you next on the agenda.
I'll stay here unless you need me. There is one I don't need to. I cannot stand there and look pretty, so I'm gonna stay.
For those that don't know me, I'm Erin King, I'm the owner of Be Noodle, and I'm also the vice president of the Tazewell Today organization. I am slated to become the president next year. I've been on the board for about a year, or a little over a year, I guess. And we're just here today. We were made aware that we were losing a little bit in our funding again. And we're just kind of here since the council has kind of changed, and Tazewell Today board and director has changed so much over the last 3 years. We're just kind of here to get an understanding exactly of what it is that you guys expect from us, and we would like to know why our funding is being cut. The last MOU that was signed, I think 3 years ago, it initially said that Tazewell Today would receive $100,000 a year with a 3% yearly increase. So that would put us at over $109,000 right now. That does include the executive director's salary. So we're just not sure. Our board has we've worked really hard to try to help the organization. As a business owner, I think that Tazewell Today is super important to rally our community together and build that cohesiveness along Main Street for all the businesses. And we do include other businesses in the surrounding area as well.
You're right.
So we just don't know why the decrease, especially with the way that everything is increasing right now. Vans and things that we do and everything, electricity, all of the things that we have to pay for is increasing. So we're not sure why our budget or our funding has gone down instead of going up as it was promised.
And I kind of have a question, which is, maybe this year the 65,000 is locked in. Moving forward, is the expectation that it gets cut every single year, and is there a goal that we don't know, but should anticipate,
And if it was going down, the MOU states that we would receive a letter saying that it was going to change, and we haven't received anything like that. So to be cut over 35,000, we're just trying to figure out, how to go forward from here with so much.
Real quick, because there's a lot of discussion on the memorandum, like we've got a baseline document that's a memorandum of understanding between the town and Tazewell Today. Now, this memorandum came into question. I'm not suggesting anything nefarious has occurred, but in the transition from manager day to you, within the town records, there wasn't a signed copy of this memorandum of understanding. So the memorandum of understanding that we do have was presented to the town from Tazewell Today, and that email chain goes back to somewhere around March 2024. It's a bit dated at this point. So there was the key document in question is suspect for that agreement. Because that's an aggressive agreement, I mean, you're gonna give, what was it, $100,000 and then increase that by 3% annually? That's not very reasonable from the council's perspective, because that's a very tough line to toe with an ever increasing, line item for that. I understand when you're going through your documents, especially as you're preparing to be president, I'm so glad that you are, because it is a much needed position and often a thankless one. So thank you for serving in that capacity. But kind of as a point of order in the framework for the conversation, if the town of Tazewell doesn't have a record of this memorandum of understanding, and it was supplied from the organization to the town, then I don't think that we can use that as the framework to base the funding on, because we don't have that record on file that it's signed. And at this stage, it's multiple years old. So I don't know that that's the place in which we can start
So
the
even though we
conversation.
have the sign from, I guess, the previous, so we have that.
Mhm.
I mean, we could, verify with him that that was signed by him, right? So wouldn't we still, because we've held up our end, wouldn't it be only fair that you guys would hold up your end and at least send us a letter and say, we can no longer do this, because we haven't received anything like that. We've just been going forward as we promised, but then our funding is
But this is a different council.
right, but it still has to honor what the previous one did, right?
I don't think that document
I was
exists.
voted on it.
No, you weren't here. It was a previous council that agreed to it, signed it.
I would agree that this council would be tied to that document if it's binding, but we don't have record of that ever coming through with an approved motion and all that. Is that what we're saying?
In 2023, this is the MOU that we're discussing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was interim manager 2024 in January, we held discussion about this MOU, and we looked in air records. We cannot find one where we have signed it in-house. It was provided to me from a previous director from Tazewell today. But we do not have a wet ink copy of that. And if I'm not mistaken, when did that agreement terminate? Like, there would need to be a new agreement.
Right, it was supposed to be written for, like, it was a 3% increase until the town terminated.
So it's
And it's
written to automatically renew every year,
Certification.
unless written notice is given on May such and such of the next year.
So in 2024, I did get a revised MOU. However, after having discussion with Air Board, the MOU was never signed.
So then the existing one, in my opinion, wouldn't we need to reach out to the previous town manager and say, did you sign this? Because then if a new one has not been signed, that would still be valid, correct?
We should have it on record that we had a motion and a second, a passing vote that we agreed to that MOU, right? If it were,
Unless it was an
Should be
administrative move, not a council move.
but that's
But-
considering the budget, so.
Considering the budget, the town manager can't, the council has to sign off on the budget. So that
Would you have the authority to do that?
Okay, so I'm only speaking from me being in this seat. I know when we have held budget work sessions, we talk about this specific line item.
Right.
And I'm sure that there would be in the minutes where we discussed. And then obviously you all have approved the budget the last 2 years that I've been in the seat.
I'm sorry, my question is, does the town manager have the authority to sign a document that commits $100,000 without council approval?
I did.
I know that,
I mean, I came to you all for that approval. I can't say what was done prior to me, but I came to you all for that approval.
So in
I guess-
2023, did you guys receive $100,000?
As far as I
That was in
wasn't
the
here,
budget
but
for us,
yes,
I
we
know.
did.
So that was
We
their
did.
budget.
Now, there was,
That was through Todd Day. Todd Day brought all that issue up, so he's the one that started, mainly started with Amanda, reference to Tazewell today. So,
But
that's,
in terms of the budget that year, I mean, several of us were part of that budget discussion. And in that discussion, we wanted to give Tazewell Today a kickstart. We believe that community events and the efforts that are put forward by Tazewell Today are important to the community. Also in the DHC documents that outline the formation of these Main Street organizations states that you should not be solely reliant on the town of Tazewell as a government for your sole source of funding. And we stated at that time frame, so a few years ago at this point, that this is an effort to push your organization forward, and this will dial back. And we expect your fundraising efforts to increase so that our obligation, so we can focus on the things that we got to, like roads and defense through police force and fire. We want to focus our efforts towards those things, so we were going to walk that back. Those fundraising efforts were going to increase, so your reliance on us decreases. And we set a rough timetable verbally for walking that back in $25,000 increments. And we did not do that over the last year, and the efforts have increased, but our responsibilities are, in addition to community development, they stem beyond that. So if you're asking for the reason for why that is occurring, is because collectively as a board, we have tough decisions to make between how much to spend on public goods versus community development. And because these guidelines state that Tazewell Today or Main Street organizations need to work toward self-sufficiency so that they don't have to endure budget constraints on local governments. Like, that's the reason we look forward to that from those efforts.
I think that Tazewell Today was started and the town agreed to fund the executive director position because in order to be a Main Street designation, we have to have a paid director, which is why the town agreed to pay that amount with the increase. That's why I believe that it wasn't originally supposed to be decreasing, because they put in that MOU that it would increase by 3% every year.
And as I've stated, I don't think that document exists.
I've got a physical copy of it right here.
Yes, and we've been supplied that, but the town of Tazewell does not have it in our records, which is it's something to raise an eyebrow at.
I'm not super interested in debating about whether the document is valid or not. What I'm more interested in is us figuring out how to rework an MOU, because what I'm concerned about is that we've gone 3 years without an updated MOU with corresponding decreases, and there hasn't really been a lot of clear communication, at least to us. I know a lot of our board is new, and so we're kind of like, okay, what's the expectation here? And it's not really been communicated in writing. So we're kind of just going off the best guess that we have. And I think it's important to us in order to be able to plan moving forward. How are we supposed to figure out?
Which events would be most
Yeah.
beneficial to the community?
because we do need to recognize, there is a piece in which you have a paid director that you pay. We do all acknowledge that we have events that we want to see run in the town. Main Street Moments, you guys help with, go through some of the events.
4th of July,
There's so
Halloween, 4th Fridays.
Yeah, but what's your biggest fundraiser?
We do bingos. We partner with different organizations in town, like Project Graduation and the band. I think it's Polar Plunge. We do Polar Plunge.
So how much was your fundraising last year? How much did you raise?
And also, those of us right here, we are the volunteers that fundraise. And, everybody knows everybody's busy, so we feel really stretched because we're out here giving on our days off, and then our funding just keeps going down, down, down.
And your budget year is different than the town budget year.
Which makes it difficult to plan when We
We're-
start in January to December, and then we find out halfway through every year that we're losing $5,000, which if we know ahead of time, we can plan, factor that in. But, you know, we don't have.
So to go back to
Clear
the,
understanding.
in the MOU that there was proposed, there were 6 events. It was the Easter egg hunt, July 4th, Main Street Moments, Veterans Day Parade, Christmas Parade, and Trunk or Treat. That is what the proposed MOU that we did not sign had in it. Those were the events that we would ask of them to do on their behalf.
Well, I wasn't on the board. I don't think these ladies made this MOU up, okay? So there's a trust issue here. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. There's a trust issue. I don't think they made it up. I understand what Zach is saying, that we started at 100,000 and we want to decrease that because we want them to fundraise. So I think where the ball's being dropped is they have events that they pay for out of the budget, but fundraising, and I realize you guys are volunteers, we're not getting the fundraising efforts to replenish the account.
It looks like, I think fundraising brought in roughly 20,000. Quick glance, I could be completely wrong because I'm not a treasurer, but looking at this document, it was a little over 20,000.
That sounds familiar, because we did have that when we were doing budget work sessions last year. I do remember being provided with the amount of fundraising, and I think that's part of why we didn't decrease. We mentioned decreasing in 25,000 increments, and we didn't decrease by that much last year. If I'm not mistaken. I think what would be good is if we set up another meeting, and it's kind of tough because we're already at the end of the budget session this year. Maybe if we have another meeting later in the year, whether that's October, November, December, because your all's budget year starts in January. That way we can be prepared for our next budget year. If we can get together and come to an understanding on where we need to be. I do think, and we need to go back in the minutes and research, because I think that 100,000 number, I think there were some other extenuating circumstances to that 100,000. I think that inflated that number up to 100,000. And I don't think that circumstance is still there. So, and I don't know it for certain, so I don't want to, say that and put it out there. But I think we come back in later this year, have a meeting together, and publicly have some input on it, and come to an understanding. If we're all good with that. That way we can get clear definition of where we're going, get a signed MOU, and that way we know how to move going forward.
I like things in writing. Just so everybody's on the same page, we know what's expected, we know what we can anticipate.
We're going to have new board members up here, new council members next year, so we're going to need something in place that we know how to operate, because we're going to have new people up here come January. So if we have that in place, we have it in place.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Gospel Explosion Outreach Recovery Missions. Ramel Hargrave.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for putting me on the agenda at short notice like this.
I thought you had a speech that was left in.
How to do it here.
Thank you.
Don't you like that phone?
Preaching, I
What's going on? We have, my name is Romel Hallway. I work for the Tazewell ship. I do transport and food. And I'm a minister as well. And throughout my career, I probably encounter more inmates than anybody on the road. Because I'm constantly all over the country. I mean, literally. From here to California, Florida. Some of them I fly. And I encounter these people. And some of them are so lost. And we know the situation in our town right here. And when you encounter a man standing there with a Bible, and you greet him and say, you got a Bible? I said, you read that? He only has a fourth grade education. So I can't read this. So what good is the Bible? What good is the Bible if you can read it and can't understand it? So I heard as being a minister. And I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I know I'm a minister, I'm a musician, but there's more I can do. And he laid it on my heart to reach out to these people that are incarcerated, those that have passed when they were incarcerated, suffering with addictions. When we say addiction, we're talking about a large range of things. Alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, pornography. There's a whole lot of addictions. And somebody got to reach these people, try to reach them. And I had an incident several years back, I know, maybe I can remember, he was broke in my mother's house. And they had stolen a lot of things out. But when it all went down, they asked me, did I want to come to the trial? I said, no. I said, why not? I said, well, only two things going to change the people. I said, Jesus Christ or death. Because they locked in. So I'm here to represent Jesus Christ as an ambassador of Christ to try to reach these people. The Bible says that if my people, which is called by my name, if we would humble ourselves and pray, turn from our wicked ways, he said he would heal the land. He said we would hear from heaven and he would heal the land. So that's what I'm trying to step up to the plate. And what I'm proposing here, I have people that are coming from the outreach ministry, outreach soldiers out of Tennessee. The male and the females are coming. Now, I'm setting this up at Lincolnshire Park, top tier. I'm setting all my music equipment, PA systems, have testimonials, people that have survived addictions, whatever it is, and not to look down. Nobody wants to be involved with these people to smell their breath. Nobody wants to be involved with these people that smell when their clothes been incarcerated so long that their clothes are rotten. I do this. I see it every day. I have to clean my car, I have to spray my car down. Nobody wants to talk to these people. And we go to church every Sunday, but we're inside the four walls. But that's not where the work is at. The work is in the street. We're supposed to be saved inside these four walls. But he said go in the hills and the byways and compel them. And if we don't show them some love and tell them what's right, we're going to be held accountable. God can hold us accountable. So I'm getting that good off my hands. Now I'm trying to reach these people. Let them know that there is hope. They think because they have a felony that they can never be anything. Well, there's plenty of men in the Bible. I can call some names that were felons, and God raised them up to write over half of the Bible. But you got to give people hope. You got to give them a reason. And this is our time. And if Jesus left the 99, we're going to get one. So we can reach one, maybe two, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 20, to make them think about the road they're traveling. Maybe we can make them we could just make a change and pray with these people, counsel them, tell them you're on the wrong road. Because you gotta tell them, be firm, but you gotta know what you're talking about. Who else could tell somebody else about how to overcome an addiction than one that has been addicted? If you've never been there, you see it, but you don't know the struggle. And at one time, I wasn't no good boy. I was not, I'll be honest. I was the roughest they come. There ain't much I haven't done. But through prayer and God's grace and His mercy, I'm here today. And a police officer, that's unheard of. But what God can do. And I just feel that we can make a difference in what's going on. So that's what this is about. And I need some help with funding, like food, drinks. I have a shelter already rented. And all this stuff here out of my pocket. This stuff is cheap. Because I want to make a difference. But I was hoping that the town of Tazewell could do something to make a contribution toward this great event. And I want it to be an annual event. This is the third time. The first time it was to give money to people that were terminally ill with cancer. And trying to get all the area churches involved. We work together Monday through Friday. Come Sunday, we all look different. I thought that Sunday would be a good time that we could come together and worship. Church people, it's disheartening when church people. So, but still, we raised probably $1,500 and let the church hold the money. Because I didn't know I said Romeo Hargrave took that money and we divided it equally among the two people. He couldn't pay for the medical bill, but they could show somebody cared about him. And
Is this going to be an all-day event?
it's going to start at 11 o'clock. And I have a gentleman that's going to, if I reach my pocket, I do. So I'm looking at about 100 pounds of chicken. I got a brother that has a large smoker. He will make pulled chicken. He will do smoked chicken. He will do barbecue chicken. All this is going to be free. And then I'm going to buy 100 pounds of fish. I'm going to go to North Carolina and buy some frozen whitings. They're large pieces of fish, cut in half. I'm going to do pasta salad. We're going to do baked beans. We're going to do cooler corn. You heard of that? Cooler corn. Do cooler corn. There'll be cakes, pies. We're talking about ice, napkins, containers, trash bags. And I'm hoping that when we have the swimming pool, basketball court, soccer field, and behind me we have the lake and the water park. With my speakers out there, we're going to put the word out there. And let the people come up from the pool get something to eat. I went to Florida and picked up this young man. And all the way up the road, I ministered to him. I seen his criminal history. It was rough. I ministered to him and he didn't say much. And got him to Tazewell jail, processed it, prayed with him, went on my way. 3 years later, I'm sitting in the barber chair on Main Street, Freddy's. The most time I wear my weapon on my chest because I drive a lot. This guy walked in and said, "Hey, Hargrave, you know, when somebody called me Hargrave, calls Officer Hargrave somebody you work with or inmate." So I'm under the cape, and I'm looking at it, remember this, Vince. My hand automatically go here. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. He said, you don't remember me, do you? I said, oh, God, he's no weapon now, I'm telling the truth. He said, you came to Florida and you picked me up. I said, God, please don't do this. I don't want to do this. I'm thinking, I'm vulnerable. I'm sitting in a chair, covered up, sitting down. He's standing up. He said, you came to Florida and you picked me up. You ministered to me all the way from South Carolina to here. He said, you bought me something to eat. You prayed with me. He said, I got saved in the back of your car. You didn't even know it. You got saved. I got saved in the back of your car and you didn't even know it. You know how I felt? I felt bad because I had my weapon in my hand. But I felt good that I had done something that was beneficial to one person. And they said, never fail to plant seed. Because you don't know where that seed's going to come up. 3 years later, come on. So we can make a difference. We can make a difference. This is our town. I live right here on Riverside Drive. I love Tazewell.
So do you not have a number of people that you expect to have at this event? I know.
Yes, I do. I have, I thought she put that on here. And people still are coming. You get called all the time. I got True Living Church of God out of the Gaylax is coming. They're bringing that whole congregation. St. Paul United Holy Church, where I minister and play music. Our whole church is coming. New Life is coming. Sister Roberts down here on First Street, they're coming. Little Zion Missionary Baptist Church, Bishop, they're coming, bringing their congregation. We have
And I apologize to cut you off here, but have you filled out the donation request form?
No, sir. That's what I'm here. I need to know the right direction and what to do.
Okay. Well, I think the first step we need to do would be to get with Leanne probably tomorrow, and they have a form for a donation request to fill out where you put the number of expected people, what the expenses would go for. And I think that would probably be our best first step. And then we can look at it possibly in the June meeting, which would be held before the event. So that would be the first step to do that. Because procedurally, we can't really move forward without the actual donation request.
I appreciate that. Talk to the board of supervisors, they all feel it. I understand you can't get it. Now, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to be able to help ease the burden of the pocketbook. Because I'm talking a lot of money myself. That's not all right.
Well, we appreciate your efforts in the community.
Yeah, man, and we got to make a difference to people because some of them feel like there's no hope. I mean, they want to commit suicide.
I think you'll do good. I think you'll do good in this.
Oh, well, I'm praying for God's blessing on this, you know, because I feel like He laid it on my heart, so I know it's about a good work.
Yeah.
And either way, if His program will go through, it'll be a wonderful thing. To go on the record, doing something great like this. And I'm looking for 150, 200 people.
Okay.
And the word is not really, WVVA is going to do that. They didn't talk to me until they're going to do a pre-segment. And they said they would come after the ad. So I'm hoping that this will be a continual thing. And I talked long enough. I want to say thank you all for listening to me. I wish you would excuse me because I'm early morning transport in the morning. And I'm usually a 6:30 man. But I appreciate that very much. So if I don't mind, I'll be excused. Any more questions for me?
So, Leanne, without the request, can we go ahead and make a decision to reimburse him back on the shelter and provide the shelter? And then if there's anything we can do next, we can deal with that later. But could we go ahead and make a decision on the shelter?
I think if you wanted to waive the rental fee of the shelter, you could do that as an part of the donation.
So I'll go ahead
And then
and make
still, he could fill out a form.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to waive the rental fee on the shelter for him.
I'll
I second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
I still know we.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. So
Thank you very
we
much.
have to
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
At least something.
Good luck.
Thank you, okay?
All right, next on the agenda, we have local business recognition. First is Sweet Willow Tree, Petals and Pages, Caitlin Huntley, owner.
These are from Caitlin at her new store.
Beautiful.
And I'm just here because she's the worst public speaker ever.
That's an awesome way.
I drove all the way from Lexington to get here in time.
Vote of confidence.
It very lightly, so if I end up reading, I apologize.
To be my
Even just to be
That's all
up
right.
here. Yeah.
The floor is yours.
So I'll start. Good evening. So as you know, my name is Caitlin Joy Huntley. This is my home. I recently purchased the old Women Floors building, where I have Sweet Willow Tree, Petals and Pages. We are a store that combines books and flowers, and we plan to provide like a community space where people can slow down, connect, and engage in something meaningful. We offer fresh arrangements, common house plants, gifts, and books for all ages and interests. I believe that we can create a special place to support our community by supporting local events, encouraging literacy and creativity, and provide a charming destination for both visitors and locals. We are very committed to being an active part of our community and wish to provide a space that reflects the warmth and character of this town. So, any questions?
You said it's an old man force on Fantastic, right? Yep.
Yes.
Mr. Gephardt, finally retired.
Anybody have any questions?
Glad to see you.
What's the best way for folks to reach you to purchase flowers?
I do have a phone number you can text or call. It is 276-331-8854.
You have your business cards?
I forgot them, but I will bring them by.
Bring
You got a Facebook and all that
I
stuff?
have Facebook and Instagram, Sweetwillowtree.4.
Now, her bookstore has been in the Mercantile, and it will be moving across the street.
I got a rose when I was there a couple days ago.
Well, we always like to give businesses some welcome gifts, so, when you have flowers.
Of course, we
Well, let's say Susan's always does it, so I didn't know. Get it right here, get it over line, everybody. That's right.
Beautiful.
Right there, look, I'm all in on this design. All right, next on the agenda, we have Being Thrifty Consignment Shop, Cheryl Smith owners. And with that, with them coming up, I do want to mention that they were the best thrift store in the best of Virginia, right? Is that what you want? Yes. For how many years straight? 2 years straight. Congratulations.
Who voted on that? Who voted on that?
Everybody.
Definitely not Danny. Wow, he was just there for the hot dogs.
They were good.
So we opened in 2012, but without a little bit of a struggle, and quite a pleasure to help everybody.
Your wife comes with me.
My wife frequents the establishment.
Everything's got for a while. But we're glad to be able to serve everyone, get rid of their tax, and make it play up the trash. You know, this is to my employees, and couldn't make it happen.
Well, it's great, we're
I
glad to have
appreciate
you.
everybody new to the chamber, so I'm
Nice. And you guys just had an expansion, right?
yes, we just had an expansion, and how much you think that added on our square foot and everything? You hung us a lot, right?
Almost double.
Yeah,
Almost
you doubled the space.
Yeah. So it's very open, and
It was like it was meant to be, I think.
yeah, you can see it.
So it's the square foot.
Yeah, it really is nice. We've got furniture now and
It's great.
everything.
And I don't know that we mentioned it, I just like to have it so it's heard on the camera, your address.
It's 581 Freedom Avenue,
All right. And phone number, we'll go ahead and put that.
276-979-4480.
It's great. You're-
Yep.
Like that.
So this is 14 years in. Woo!
I appreciate you guys taking all of our stuff.
I love it. She just drops and rolls.
You guys don't want in the picture?
Come on. Absolutely, that's why they're here.
All right.
I appreciate you. My husband works with her.
Too small, please.
There's so much.
Or where my contacts.
It's in the.
I ain't received this.
Got it? No problem, thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have approval of the minutes. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so as we mentioned, they were in the best of Virginia. Okay. So businesses that have a zip code of 24651, there were 30 first place winners with that zip code. And I see some of these business owners here and business representatives here, so that's amazing for you guys. And I'm so proud of our town. 30 first place winners, 12 second place, and our hospital finished third in our Southwest District. So I would like to stand up and give a round of applause to all of our businesses.
You said that was 24651, it's 24630, correct?
Yep, both are zero.
Okay, my bad.
Just wanted to make sure we
So how do you get nominated for that?
Well, actually, that's how that helps.
That's obvious.
All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the council meeting on April 15th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes.
I've got a motion and I've got a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is approval of the financial statement and financial report for April 2026. I'll open the floor for a motion. Got a motion? I've got a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The financial statements and report are approved. Next we have committee and conference updates. Planning Commission Committee, Zoning, Building, and Property Management Official Heard.
We did not meet last Monday. We will meet in June.
All right. Next we have.
Wait, I got a couple questions. So, what's that word, transparency, is that like see-through? So are we getting a Taco Bell?
You wasn't here, was you?
Obligation.
Yes, sir, we are.
Obligation.
Could you tell us what it's about?
I've been in contact with the engineers and the contractor that's going to do the Taco Bell. He actually contacted me today. They're sending the plans over and going to get their building permit probably within this week or beginning of next week. They'll probably break ground within a month. And we should be finished by this fall.
Let's say you were in that, look, you said October?
Yeah.
That's gonna go real quick.
The other thing is, what about our theater?
I've visited the theater. You might know a little bit more too. We're getting ready to put the chairs inside. Already got the wiring for the alley lighting and all that. Walls are painted. Just getting close.
About the end of the month.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Any other questions?
Give her a little more time.
I need the grass cut at Old Hayes Pharmacy.
Hey.
Hayes Pharmacy.
Don't you do that?
Yeah. You might get in that business in that book.
Well, that's probably sold, right?
Yeah, it's got a new owner. Hey, don't
The
leave it.
owner needs to cut the grass.
I'll have to get up with him.
Thank you.
Also, for the record, I've also talked to the two people on Tazewell Avenue, the old Carlos house and the other house. The one guy that bought the Mullins house, he had 2 heart attacks, so I think he's going to sell it. And the other house is in the process of being sold.
Like the gentleman came to the meeting a few months back.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some way of getting all the trash picked up on the side of the road. I mean, it's all over the place. And plus the high grass. So I'm looking at.
Where's the trash beside the road? All the mowing crews, they pick up trash before they mow usually.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I've seen the trash, it's just everywhere. Marion Avenue, Fincastle, Steele's Lane. I can go on down to North Tazewell. It just needs to be picked up and the grass needs to be cut.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks. Next, we have Tazewell Today, Nate Thomas, President of Tazewell Today. The floor is yours.
You will have to forgive me if I use my phone. I couldn't get this printed off because, printers only work when they feel like it. So please forgive me. I know they don't carry a phone when I go to speak. I do apologize. Several good things happening with Tazewell Today. In April 24th was the first fourth Friday of the year. Don't make me say that too many times quick. Very low cost. We're able to check out some games from the library, to be up on the parking lot of the All Tires or stage and have free games and activities for, I want to say young folks, but there were some adults playing games as well. I couldn't control them. Had music playing for a couple hours, 11 volunteers on the night, and then we came down to the American Legion building where we were able to show Lassie, which was filmed here in Tazewell County, partnership with the Tazewell County Public Library, and one of the local churches provided free popcorn and slushies. Very well attended, over 100 people, plus people in and out during the evening. Nobody stays for very long at some things. That was a hit. We'd like to do some more of those low-cost, low traffic stoppage activities. Yesterday morning in Pulaski, 4 of our board members and our executive director were able to attend the Virginia Main Street training, the rev-ups that they have quarterly. It was about supporting small businesses. They got a walking tour of Pulaski where they saw our former town manager, who we've talked about enough for tonight. They went and said hello. One board member is going to be attending the same training today in Lexington, or I guess she did. So that's good. Out of 11 active board members, 5 were able to attend that yesterday. I wasn't able to go because the town manager insisted on a meeting and I had to be here. That's not true, that didn't happen. But I didn't. Our executive director is out of town this week at a couple of trainings, and she'll be attending the Southwestern Economic Forum at UVA Wise on the 21st. The next fourth Friday will be on May 22nd, which is not this, but next Friday, there'll be a band out of Bluefield, Virginia called the Best of Times Band playing music from the 50s through the 80s. We had to get those details worked out. I didn't know them all yesterday when we spoke. But my understanding is that's been taken care of. Of course, the next bigger event will be the Independence Day celebration on July 3rd. That will be at the middle school. It's where it needs to be. There'll be games and vendors, nice place to watch the fireworks. And of course, we've got an active committee planning Main Street Moments. Please don't ask me many details because I haven't attended all of those meetings.
Now, I'm just asking, July the 4th, Ramey's lot,
No,
can it,
no. Middle school,
can you have the 4th of July?
on the 3rd of July.
Remember we had to pay for fireworks, and it was double on the 4th, so we had to pay for one.
We actually couldn't get it on the 4th. They were not available.
And the Ramey's lot is not usable at this time, so we only use the middle school lot. On down the road, we want to go somewhere else, but for now, middle school's fine, they've been doing it out there for years. I personally love it.
And
I
actually,
mean,
the Declaration of Independence was signed on the 3rd.
Something to reference to have something at Ramey's lot going to the middle school with the fireworks and stuff.
Yes, but this year that's not feasible. My understanding is there's going to be a water line project, and the lot's not in the best of shape, so Tazewell today is perfectly content to have it at the middle school. But I think the details are already worked out on that.
I'm just,
Oh, no, I appreciate the question, but that's the best answer I can give. I'm happy to answer any other questions, but I don't know a lot, so.
The one question I have is for Main Street Moments.
Okay.
How much is it for just a normal visit?
Oh, I want to say $50, but please let me double check that, Mr. King.
And how much for a food visit?
That I don't know off the top of my head. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I haven't attended all those meetings. I'm sorry I don't have those details in front of me, but I'll try and get them tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now you don't ask me anything else since I don't know it. But there's a lot of stuff coming up, and let me just say, I don't want to beat that horse. These events are volunteer driven. Nobody makes a dime off of Tazewell today outside of a paid employee. And I think it saves the town a lot of money. I know it does. I just have the numbers in front of me. It's good. It's a good thing. We want it for our town. So I'm excited about things going on. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, industrial development economic. You got an extra word in there. Industrial Economic Development Authority, IEDA Chairperson spot.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hope you all are great.
Fantastic.
Thank you all for attending the ribbon cutting on May 1st for the Clinch River Pavilion. I think that's a huge win for both the IEDA and the town council, as well as the farmers market. Leanne, thank you to you and Susan in Public Works again for coordinating and getting that really huge project over the line. I already feel like it's made a huge impact for the community, and I think that it's really has been the beginning of the work that's going on in North Tazewell. So again, thank you all for your support on that project. Continuing the focus on North Tazewell for right now, with the help of Jordan Dillon, a planning grant was submitted for our 1616 Riverside Drive property to ARC, again for planning work to outline the Fab Lab. I think her official, it was Rural Trades and Ag Fab Lab. Leanne and Susan had a very positive meeting with Southwest Virginia Community College the last week of April related to that project, as we continue to have being partners for the long-term vision of that property and how it can help workforce development in the town. Anything else Riverside Drive? Well, CBDG, Susan has been working with our representative again from Cumberland Plateau and DHCD on the block grant that will impact the entire Riverside Drive block. There have been many public meetings related to that work. and the facade improvements on that street. So again, lots going on, we hope, on Riverside Drive property. Been a long time coming. I feel like it's been a really big positive boost to that neighborhood. So any questions related to Riverside Drive or anything down that way?
With the facade improvements, when do we expect to see like the implementation from that? Do they have, like, I know we submitted, but when do we expect to see any feedback?
So David Hill with Hill Studios will be coming to do a final presentation on that.
Okay.
It's kind of TBD as to when he will be here, but he is coming to do that.
Okay, but what about like the award dollars? So
When do we know we got it?
So I spoke with Debbie from Cumberland Plateau today, and I think there's a due date for some of the things to be, July 16th is to be submitted.
July 16th?
Yes, that's a submission date for.
Oh, the submission date?
Yes, for the application for the funding.
Okay, for the facades?
Yes.
Okay, and then from the submission, you said June 16th?
July 16th.
July 16th.
Is the day to submit that.
To submit,
Yes.
okay. And then is there a turnaround time on that? Would you expect, you think August, like fall, or?
I'm not
you
sure
think
when
it's-
they award it.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a framework in my head. All these efforts are going on in North Tazewell. It's like, okay, that facade improvement is fantastic for the private businesses there. And like, when will those dollars hit? So it sounds like maybe first part of 27.
The dollars will not come in this year, I do not think, for
Okay.
sure. I
Okay.
definitely think it's a 27.
And then continuing our move around town, I think Tazewell Cinema, I think Sharon's coming to our June meeting, is that correct?
I've asked for a come, yes.
Okay, so you all are invited to attend our June meeting, regular scheduled meeting, we'll meet here. If you'd like a cinema update live in person. Then, continuing on to the Ramey lot, the IDA decided as a board that we're not gonna let anyone use the Ramey lot in its current condition because of the water line project, because of how we've already used Public Works with the Clinch River Pavilion work. It's not worth putting in time and effort in improving the lot because that's why we're going under a project planning process with an architect. So because of the timing of tonight's town council meeting and when our architect, Kevin Jones from Virginia Tech, was gonna come and provide preliminary drawings, that meeting's tomorrow. I asked Leanne to advertise it, so if any of you all would like to attend that meeting, see the preliminary drawings, give feedback, you're more than welcome to come. Some of the IEDA will be there as well. I felt like it was worth all of our time to at least try to advertise and be able to have a discussion about it so that we didn't have to wait an entire month to receive feedback because the vision, again, for the Ramey's lot is a park that's gonna have ample parking. It will have multi-purpose fields. It would be a multi-generational park. It would have some sort of walking track with bathroom access. Again, it's in a floodplain, so we feel like this is a good use of that property and remove blight on the way into town. So, did I miss anything on that? Cool. I think that's all, because you also heard from Little Rocker Park on the Main Street IGA property.
So the meeting tomorrow, is it gonna be here?
It's gonna be here, yep, just like the email and advertisement said. Yep, and he will have physical drawings, he will put things up on the screen. Yes.
Regarding the meeting tomorrow, I think some of the concerns some folks have when, we all have jobs and the meeting's at 10:30. Will we have the ability to just record it, just like we do for this one?
Yes,
And
we
then
are. And we'll post it.
Yeah, we'll post it so everybody has a chance to see.
It's a public meeting, just like this one.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be recorded and posted.
Okay, perfect.
And again, the reason why, usually that would just be like the IDA would meet and discuss, but because you all have given us the vision for what you want the park to be, I felt like it was a good use of our time to try to keep momentum and keep everybody on the same page and to be transparent.
We will not be there.
Thank you.
Cool, yep.
Well, thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Everyone else had a quicker visit, a huge one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a fun day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's already been well utilized. We've had two outstanding farmers market days.
Yeah.
And then, what was the group that was the folks, Sewell and Water?
Stream sweepers.
Stream sweepers, yes. So, it looks beautiful, the river walk's great.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and we're not done yet?
We're not done yet, and one of the things that we're doing in our meetings is we have standing agenda items, is one especially related to the Clinch River Pavilion, so that monthly we are discussing the long-term use of that property. You know, Leanne's gonna be able to communicate anything to us, you know, we can communicate back to you all, so it's not a like, now that it's done, we don't care about it, it's continual maintenance, and a huge priority for us, because we're quite proud.
Great.
Two things. I think, you know, a lot of people ask me if they can rent that.
Yes.
I think we need to put it out there that they can.
That's a good advertisement.
And then the other thing, so during the day, like the rest of this week and the weekend, how do you do the bathrooms?
Oh, we talked about that in our last meeting. Go ahead, Leanne.
Okay, so our police department is checking our restrooms, and they will open them during the day, and they will lock them at night.
As that is our understanding what they do with the Steels Lane location, right? And so like it was part of a normal workflow.
That's a dumpster.
Yes.
Yeah, those bathrooms aren't dumpsters. When will they be cleaned?
Okay, they're on a cleaning rotation.
Okay. So they'll get cleaned every day?
I don't know that.
I think, you know, for present and early in the game,
Okay,
I think they should be checked every morning.
okay.
You know, not by our police, but I think our public works should check it every morning and just make sure. Okay.
Yeah, that was, again, when Leanne brought up if someone wanted to go down there and eat lunch and be at the river and the bathroom be open, like that's something that we thought was important, so.
Yeah.
It works.
And as far as security, there is surveillance
Yes.
down there, so.
There are cameras.
And it will be striped. We've communicated with the farmer's market that the top priority that they can expect for the pavilion is the striping of the parking lot. And I think that's gonna really help with, you know, traffic. Yeah, big win. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Stan, just the first day of the market, a neighbor nearby said that they're having issues with people going back there late at night. So I just told her I'd bring it up.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
I just-
Go back.
I wanted to answer Councilman Keen's question about food trucks at Main Street Mall. Their cost is $100.
Okay.
That's fine.
So I wouldn't get it while we were here.
I thought it was double. Yeah, I thought that.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Non-food expenses.
And just to confirm, the vendor fee is 50.
I didn't ask about that one because I'm sure I'm right on that one.
Oh.
But the food truck one, I just couldn't remember.
I think it's half. I think the,
I'm almost, yeah, I'm 100% on that.
And also, Mr. Keene, I think in the future, there's going to be a fence that goes down through there and some gates that comes across. Currently, that's
Right.
some of that person's problem. Me and Lynn's talked a little bit about it.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to address it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next on the agenda, comprehensive financial subcommittee. Councilmember Klein.
Try to do this without choking. Apologies. So like the planning commission, we didn't meet this month. That doesn't mean the work hasn't been going on. So I always like to reiterate the purpose behind the comprehensive plan. This is the structural document that outlines the town's vision for the future for the next 5 years. And we have collaborated with the planning commission members, the IEDA, and Mr. Keene and myself from the council to help develop the strategy for this document. And I took a few days of leave this Leanne, so if you want to talk about Gym City, but we knew early on in this project that there was going to be a make or buy decision in regards to whether we're just going to build this product in-house or whether we're going to utilize a contractor to assist us with this document. And it's large and it's got a lot of pretty pictures in it, so we have sought a contractor to assist us with it. We have Little Studio, who has given us a quote, and then Gym City has also given us a quote. So we've got multiple vendors looking at this. And right now, best I can tell from the emails is we're receiving feedback from the subcommittee to make a determination to move forward with one of these vendors. And until that's released, we'll table issuing what our recommended direction is at that time. We're going to meet again after the IEDA meeting at the first of the month, and we're looking at the fun part of the plan, and this is the implementation plan. So we've set the goals and the objectives for the next 5 years, and now we're building the implementation part of that plan, and we welcome all collaboration to set the plan up for the next 5 years, so we hit our targets in a orderly fashion. Mr. Glenn, you got anything else to add on this here?
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. The town council representative for the Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission. This one goes to me. So I'll hand it back over to you, Leanne, to kind of get the background on this situation.
Okay. The Cumberland Plateau Planning District had reached out to me to say that our former mayor was our representative on this board and they would need us to replace that member. So they meet quarterly, and it is rotated within the Southwest region. And I think council has possibly made a decision for who would be a representative.
With that, I'll open the floor for the motion.
I'd make the motion for Mayor Beasley to fill that position.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. As part of the discussion, I'd like to say, like, I'm proud and willing to take this role, but I'm stretched quite thin with some of the other commitments I have. If I do, if you do pass this, and I'm willing to accept it, but I would like to resign from the Historical Review Board, my position on that, if we go this route. But that being said, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries, and I will be the town council representative for the Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission. And with that, I would like to officially resign my position on, or my position on the Historical Review Board.
And I would like a motion that Councilman Fox take the position on the Historical Review Board.
Oh, man.
Okay, I've got a motion.
I'll second.
I've got a second. Is there any discussion? All those in, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Councilman Fox, you are welcome to the Historical Review Board. They meet next Monday at 6. All right. Next we have new business. First up we have the National Music Week proclamation for May 3rd through 10th. Did we get a copy of that? Because I don't see that.
I don't think I have a copy.
Okay. I do not have a copy of that proclamation. Okay. So just to give background on this situation, last Friday, Bonnie White from the Tazewell Music Club, yes, the Tazewell Music Club, reached out to me and we made a proclamation. I signed the proclamation for them stating that May 3rd through the 10th is National Music Week, and the Tazewell Music Club has actually been around, and it's over 100 years. It's older than the state of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, that's what she told me. Very aggressive.
More than 100 years.
Huh?
That's more than 100 years.
I know she said over 120, it was 120 some years.
Councilman Tackett's got it. There you go.
I didn't know you, it took me a second.
Miss White hit me with a lot of.
16 what? 16?
Miss White hit me with a lot of facts about the Tazewell Music Club, and I apologize for not having all those, and I thought I would have a copy of that here, but that's my apologies, that's on me, and we'll move on with that. Just recognize that this past week was National Music Week.
Music, yay. Very good.
Next on the agenda is the fire truck discussion. Manager Reed.
Okay, so during our budget work sessions, we talked about the need of a new fire truck. And our fire chief has presented the need of a new fire truck. And our chief engineer, TJ Johnson, has been helping me with this. So we do have a listing of all of our trucks, their years, the mileage on the trucks. This is unit 686.
That will replace them?
Yes.
Be 685.
Sorry. 685 is a pumper truck. It's a 2005 model. Mileage is 29,224.
2002. Yeah.
Sorry.
685?
Yes, ma'am. It's a 2002 model.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it is placed in there. That's on mine.
Excuse me.
There you go. Unit 685 in 2024 responded to 149 calls. In 2025, responded to 39 calls. 2026 thus far has responded to 20 calls. In the last 3 years, totaling 208 calls that it has responded to. So TJ has been working to get quotes. We have 3 quotes. The first is from Atlantic Emergency Solution, $1,361,007. The next is 4 Guys Fire Truck, $1.3 million. The next is Sufton. It is $999,787.37. And as we had said before, before we just had the one quote, but this is going to be something, when you order it, it's going to at least take at least 16 to 24 months, we think, to get the truck. One of the reasons that we are bringing this back to council's attention is because after June 1st, the price of this quote goes up. TJ and I have talked to try and find other alternatives. I did speak with their county administrator, and they told me of a grant that we can apply for. It is through FEMA. It is the AFG. It is Assistance to Firefighter Grant. However, I couldn't find any current opening for a grant period. I'm not quite sure, because I know in the past FEMA funding had been cut. I don't know if that's possibly the reason. There are alternatives if we would want to go with rural development. It's not necessarily a grant, but it could be a lower interest loan. And so TJ and I have tried, and this is TJ's work, so I want him to have the credit for that. He found a company that would do sort of like our police department. They would lease us a truck. And then in 10 years, you would have the option to purchase the truck, or you could get another new truck and do another 10-year lease. We just received this quote today, and TJ and I talked, and it doesn't math right. It would be more than if we just bought the truck outright. And at the end of this lease, we still wouldn't own it. So we're definitely not recommending a lease route. But we wanted to bring this back to you all because in the future, again, in the next 2 years, we're gonna need to take some type of action. So I want us to see this coming. Some type of direction in the future is going to be needed.
What's wrong with the current truck?
It's old, it's wore out, it's got problems.
I'm old, and wore out, and got problems.
It don't build air when you get in it. It won't build air. You gotta get up on the back of it and turn it to make it build air.
So it can't be fixed?
It ain't been fixed in 15 years.
That's not what I asked.
No, it can't be fixed.
So it can't be fixed?
No, it's an ECM, and that would be more than the truck's worth to replace. Electronic control module. It would be total if you try to fix it. It's got leaky valves, it's got, the air is leaking, it's just an old truck.
So 4 years ago, we had 120 some calls. In the last 3 years.
It's our second truck out now because of that reason, it won't build air.
So
it's one of the reasons.
So the reason the calls are less is because you don't take it out.
Right, we take the ladder truck or the tanker instead of that one.
Does the county have one of these trucks?
A pumper?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be housed at North Tazewell?
They got nothing to do with us.
Well, they
really don't.
Yes, they do.
So Chief, the last time you came and presented to us to ask for the truck.
Right.
There was the time frame on the truck.
Right.
We're meeting that time frame, correct?
We're double it.
Okay.
The NFPA, which is not a law, it's a rule. It says 15 years and this truck will be 30 years. And this is another thing, you think about the $1 million, that's a 30-year investment. In 30 years, you would have bought, 10 police cars or 5, 6, 7 garbage trucks. If you figure that, it's really not that much more for a fire truck than it is any other piece of equipment. I'm passionate about it, so I'm not.
What other costs? I know on a police car what the big costs are. Like, so a fire truck, this costs, 1.3 or $9.99. What other costs would be associated?
It'll come done. It'll come lettered, air packs. If we want hose on it, it'll come with hose.
Basically put a radio in it, that's going to be.
Well, probably the radio will be in it.
We throw water on it when it pulls in.
Yeah.
So no other costs, but.
It'll be done. And like I said, it's a 30-year investment.
So which company would best suit the department of the three that we have before us?
They're all good brands. Something the guys work with us more. He's tried to sell it. Go ahead, TJ.
Well, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
They really helped us, work with us, took us to the drawing board and back, and did what they could do to help us.
I just make a motion for, get the fire truck and fully equipped and go with that.
Second.
I mean, it's crazy.
Is there warranty differences?
Hang on, Councilmember Fox made a motion. Now, I would like to ask for some clarification. Which quote would you like to?
The best quote for this fire department, they're gonna be handling the fire calls. They know exactly how to run this fire truck.
Based off what they're saying, the stuff, which is the 990.
We understand $300,000 is a lot of money, but something will do fine.
Well, if it's gonna be fine,
It's a very good brand, it's a very old brand. It's 100 years old, it's older than Virginia.
So. Appreciate it. I've got that stat. I'll fix that in a minute. So we have a motion on the floor to get the Stuffton truck for $990,000.
I'll second.
I've got a second. Do I have any more discussion on that?
What's the time frame on the loan?
It'll be 2 years and we don't have to pay for it. A dime until it comes in.
Oh, well, okay, well, yeah.
What's the term of the loan?
Yeah, what's the term? Like,
The lease or the payments,
Yes.
that'd be totally up to you all.
We would have to go to a financial institution and get a loan.
They don't finance it through that program.
Not that I'm aware of. However, like they're saying, this is 2 years down the road,
Right.
but it's gonna take that long to be built.
Could we,
So what's the price if we wait till the next meeting? Because it's gonna change.
It's gonna go up what percentage?
2 to 5%. So
Well, it's going up.
70,000, wasn't what we?
$70,000.
so what, we have to lock in a contract with them?
Miscellaneous built a contract to.
Yeah, so we have to pretty much sign and say, hey, yeah, we're gonna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Got a second, what do you
But then
want?
we also have to find a
financing.
financing, and we have to do, that's what I'm trying to get to. They're signing, like, we're gonna buy this, and then there's like actually figuring out how you're gonna buy it. So, yeah.
Hold on, let's say a couple of items in the discussion, because I don't disagree with what you're saying on the sharing. When we discussed this at the last work session, I believe, you had a meeting lined up with the county administrator afterwards, and the question at that time was proposed, like, between 2 fire stations within, I don't know, 10-mile radius between the two, like, how many assets are needed in order to fill the number of calls that are within the community?
I did ask about some type of asset sharing program. I didn't really receive an actual determination answer on that. I don't know that was very well received.
Right, but we are covering their calls right now while their fire department's shut down, so.
Yes, we are.
So like, why would they not?
Like just sharing an asset. Like if their department was on a call and had it, and the other department needed it,
We would go,
they
yes.
were.
Right, but there's a mutual aid agreement that, based on the last conversation, I think, was set to be renewed this year as well, right? A mutual aid agreement between the county fire department and the town's fire department, is that correct?
Yes, we do have a mutual aid agreement, and I'm not sure on when it renews, but yes, there is one in standing right now.
We've had it at least 48 years.
Right.
If they call us, we go, if we call them, they come.
Right.
But you wouldn't want to share a place with.
You couldn't share the equipment physically.
Not physically, but in terms of the assets available to respond to a call within the community.
If they called and needed us, we'd take it.
Right.
But now, to be honest with you, when they call, they always call for a tanker.
Yeah,
They wouldn't call for this truck because they don't have hydrant system. When they call us, they want our tanker. That's what they want.
So this truck is specific to, like, you have a hydrant and you.
More or less, I mean, if they ask for the pumper, right now, our policy is to take the oldest one.
Oh.
If we go in the county.
Okay.
We got two, that are reasonably close together. But we take the oldest one in the county and leave the newest one in town and only send one crew out in the county. That way the town is still covered with the newer truck.
That's my follow-up question. Knowing that we have two pumpers that are within the same, few years in age, what's the game plan for the next truck to be replaced?
We're doing one at a time.
Right, and we are.
I would say them the next 5 years.
Do you think you have 5 years on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made them last 30 years, which is a long
We
time.
probably get more, but we need to start planning to move forward with the 683. It's a 2008 model. It's our first truck out for everything.
Right.
We need, within the next 5 years, get a plan on moving forward and purchasing and replacing it.
So a new truck in place in 5 years, or you got a 2-year wait time?
A plan to replace it, then we'll still probably have a 2-year wait time on getting that truck replaced.
So 7 years looking for the second vehicle?
Yes, sir.
I think we need to go ahead with the plan. I mean, I know we're discussing everything, but the fire department knows a lot more than what we know in reference to these trucks. And if we keep setting it to the side, we want to have, the price is going to go up, like they say. And the issue is, we need to go ahead, go forward with it, and get this truck for them. That way, this could be all handled in a better way.
And I can say from our office, we will try grants, even if it's not, obviously not for the whole thing, but we will try grants to help reduce that cost. I know with the EMS, they had an 80-20 grant. That would be amazing. But we will try, absolutely.
And technically, we have 2 years for 18 months at least.
Yes.
Yeah, we can tell them 2 years if you want 2 years. We can tell them we want it delivered in 2 years. That's not a problem.
And another question, when it came time for us to purchase the ladder truck a few years ago, did we receive assistance from Tazewell County for that truck?
Tazewell County promised to pay half. Now, if they did or not, I don't know.
We did receive funding from
Okay.
Tazewell County.
Well, see, I think in that conversation, this is like offhand, so I'm not quoting anybody. We purchased the ladder truck used.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that they were upset because if they were putting up money, that basically they wanted us to get a new truck. Perhaps in this case, there's an opportunity to say, hey, we're getting a new truck, it's gonna last 10 years, we're gonna help service your calls.
Well,
help us out.
let me give you a little bit of history here. The old ladder truck was given to us by the county because they couldn't operate it. They couldn't even fit in their building. So they gave the town the truck used. So in my mind, when it come time to replace it, I was okay with the used truck and encouraged or, put my 2 cents in that the county could pay half. Because we take it to Richlands and Bluefield more than we use it here.
But that would be different with the pumper truck.
The pump truck is completely different.
That's what, yeah, I'm just trying to,
Right. It'd be a brand new truck that it would stay in town. If they called for assistance, it would be the tanker or the old pumper truck.
Okay.
Or if another town asked for assistance, it would probably be the ladder truck.
Okay. Well, that's
Yes, ma'am.
very clarifying.
So are we gonna sign a contract to lock in the $900,000 price?
That's
I mean,
that's what we have a motion and a second
Yeah,
for that.
we're discussing that motion.
Is there any other discussion on that? All right, that being said, all those in favor of purchasing the,
Come on,
I
guys.
asked if there's any. I know that you didn't pause, so in my mind, the company that TJ and the chief said really helped us out. If I'm gonna spend $999,000 and I like that $1,000,003 truck, I'm gonna spend $1,000,003. It's like you go buy Chevrolet or Cadillac. They're both high quality, high price, but for a little more, if somebody's helped me, I'm gonna get the $1,000,003.
the thing is, they're suggesting to get the $990,000.
Yeah, we want $999,000.
The 999,000, whatever, is the same quality as the other 3. Seriously, there's not much difference.
But has that company helped you like the other company?
That's the company.
Sutton is the one that's the nine.
The other companies didn't really care what gets quoted on.
Whether you go buy it or not, they care less with all the.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, so they can get, they give us the name of this leasing company, and said, here, try it in, well, we did.
So if we do this, our old truck's worth nothing?
No, it is worth something.
That's not what you said. You said it was old and.
I didn't say it was worthless, I said it was.
You said it was old.
Okay.
Thank you, man. I said it was old, not worth
According to the Sutton guy, okay, and he said you might be able to get up to $50,000 for it.
Is that trading it into them, or is that auctioning it on?
I think it was just selling it straight out.
Yeah, that's selling it straight out. We could, if we decided to sell the truck, we could go to Brinkley Mountain. They could be a broker for us to help sell the truck.
Okay.
How much did they take to broker it?
They might take 5% or something.
When I look into it, we get back with Lee in on it.
So we can't get rid of it until we have a new one.
Right.
It's not worthless. It's not like the last one, that the pump was bad and the town sold for $2,500. It's not worthless. You see what I'm saying?
Not yet.
All right.
Maybe after 2 more years.
Is there any more discussion on this?
We should all be knocking on wood, I'm just saying.
All right, all those in favor of purchasing the Sufton truck for whatever that approximately $999,000. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
All right, motion carries, and we will be getting that truck, so.
Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Oh, just to clarify, the Tazewell Music Club stat that I butchered, and I
I knew I should have said that.
it was it is likely the oldest organization, active organization in the town of Tazewell. I knew, she hit me with several stats, so I was overwhelmed, and I got put on the spot, so. Sorry.
That's what Google's for.
Now, next on the agenda is town manager project updates.
Okay, so this one is technically not on the agenda, however, it's been brought up a couple of times, so let's discuss the theater project. So when the contract was signed, it had 18 months to complete construction. That timeline is August the 12th of 2026. I can tell you that there are monthly submissions to DHCD for the costs that are being put into it, and we are getting the rebate back from that. So there is monthly activity on that. She is working on that. I understand that maybe one of her employees or construction folks, maybe he had got sick or his wife had got sick, so there was a little bit of downtime, but that is a moving project. 460 water line replacement. So our crews are still out working on the 460 project. We are anticipated to get our bridge hangers tomorrow, and that's to put the line actually on the bridge. Once they have connected that, they will be able to move onto the top of the street, connect the fire hydrant, connect the bin vault and the pump station, and they will be ready to put water onto that section. Then we are still on target right now to pave at the end of May. We are getting quotes to possibly outsource that versus doing it in-house, only to kind of increase air productivity and get caught up on a few things. The Clinch River Pavilion and Farmers Market, as Kara said, that's a big celebration for the town. I'm not going to say who said this to me, but it was a definite high five moment, literally high five moment. They said, I'm just proud that the town said they were going to do something, and they did. So they are very complimentary of everything. I have not heard hardly anything negative, so I want to cross my fingers on that one. But very successful project. The mountain biking project, I am still waiting to hear back from IMBA to see if we have been awarded for the design part of that project. The Rainy Lot, Kara gave a little update. We will have a meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock here in this room to see conceptual drawings. It is an open public meeting. It will be videoed. We will post it. Youth Soccer League. So I think that overall, everything with the soccer league this summer or this spring has went well. Had a few learning curves, but overall, I think so far it's been very successful. The sewer line on the Lowe's property.
No, on the soccer, one of the things I was going to make a request, just being out there helping out with the league this year. There's been a few incidences where folks have been playing softball while the soccer game's been going on. You got folks sitting at the end of the infield, their backs watching the game, and children, hitting softballs. If we could get cheap signs or signs posted up, perhaps on the backstop, says, no softball during games. Basically, I'm just worried about somebody getting whacked in the head, somebody catches a clean shot. I know that there's discussion around improvements on the field matrix and stuff like that. I'm not really concerned about, practices, but that has been something that has been occurring. And it's not become a thing yet. And we only got a few Few more weekends left, but that's part of the continuity for it. I think the increased safety out there.
Okay. Noted. Sewer line on the Lowe's property. So a couple months ago, we had some residents come in to discuss a sewer line issue on their property. It is a town main sewer line that runs through the back of their property to the front of the road. At the time, we had met with Thompson and Litton, met with the property owners, met with air staff. We went to the physical location, and we have received 3 different quotes. Please keep in mind before I say these amounts, this is not exactly what we had proposed. So quote number 1, option number 1, is 5 of those individual grinder stations for all the residents on that street, not just their home, but the others. That comes in at $339,500. Option number 2, 2 grinder pumps. That would come in at $458,640. Option number 3 would be a sanitary lift station, which would be like a quarter of that room. It's a little much. That quote came in at $494,620. So as you all are, that's how I felt as well. So we met last week with our engineers, with property owners, with my staff, and said, hey, the quotes that you give us, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. However, we didn't get exactly what we asked for. So we did our own homework. And what we have proposed, which would be the individual grinder and pump station above the cleanout, we would have to reroute the sewer line and come down Jefferson Street to hook into Fincastle. That would get all but 1 customer off of that line, and that issue should be permanently maintained from then on. Air option, and this includes fixing the road back once we have to go across the road. Air option is under $50,000. And the engineers, they did change one thing about our option. They would like us to have 2 pumps in the hole in case one fails, the other one will pick it up. So they did say that yes, this option will work. Yes, this option is much cheaper. We would have to go and get a permit for DEQ because we are rerouting the sewer line. So it is going to take a minute. We can do this in-house. We can absolutely perform this task. So right now I'm waiting on the property owners. They said they would like to have a minute to discuss. I said, please take your time, let me know what you would like. Yes, that's the witness. We've already discussed it. So what Brad said was right-of-way easements that we have discussed, all of that. But yes, air option, and it was agreed in front of the property owners, this option will work. And I think that was what the property owners were really looking to get out of this. But that is where we're at with that.
So the grinder station,
Yes,
where would that be located to their property?
in the back portion of their yard.
So it comes off the hill and shoots into Jefferson?
Yes. And that's what would be, this is all underground. And all you would see is this little bar and alert and the power that supplies that. So it's very minimal. It's actually, we went to a water conference a couple weeks ago and they actually had this there. And that's how we learned about this particular model. It's much less invasive on the property. And they really liked and appreciated that we brought forth this option.
So that takes care of the 8-foot fence and all of that?
We will not have to have fence.
Okay, cool.
You said there needs to be 2 pumps in the ground?
Yes.
But I have 2 monitors sticking out?
No, just pumps. And what the bar is from the ground, it's an alert, there's a light on it. If anything should happen and the pump fell, it will go to the backup pump, however, it will alert. There's communication, it will send to cell phones to alert air staff. The light will go on. We did tell them there's an option to get a siren if they would like to know that this fell too, but they did not want the siren. But I did want to let you all know that is where we are. And I did tell them, like, it's a slow moving process. However, it's air pump. It's air pump, it's air electricity, it's air line. But that's where we are. And I think that's all I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Any questions on these projects?
No, I was gonna say how ridiculous, like 400. Anyway, it's cool.
All right, next we have miscellaneous items, and I know Wayne had a few more.
I have a few. So this week is police week. So I would like to recognize our police department here, our sheriff's department, very much. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
Next, go ahead.
I'm going to give you some kudos tomorrow too, given
Oh,
the
yeah.
day.
Oh,
I wasn't there when that was delivered, but thank you.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah,
I got
Councilmember Fox would like to add.
Gary Childers, he's the first sergeant at Richlands Police Department. I worked with him, and I like to pay condolence to his family. He passed away yesterday, or this morning, wasn't it?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. And I just got the information today, and I'd like to have everybody have a prayer for him and his family. And I think every police officer should be, safe and I don't know how this happened to him, but it happened quick, didn't it?
They believe it was a heart attack.
Out there at the food line.
We done CPR, and, but when he got to the hospital, they lost it. But our officers actually got a pulse pattern.
Condolence and records of police work.
They worked really hard, and our EMS worked really hard.
Thank you all for all that you do.
Yeah.
Well,
Appreciate that.
mentioned in our EMS, next week is EMS week. Cindy, I think, has been out of town. I think she just got back, but I do want to mention Police Week is this week, EMS Week is next week, and I want to thank all of my staff for their service. So very much.
Thank you. Thank you all emergency services, all of you for all that you do.
And I have one more that's miscellaneous. I was actually want to wait until next month. However, I would like to introduce a new employee since they come to the meeting tonight and surprise me. So we have had some changes in our recreation staff, and I would like to introduce our new recreation director, Addison Hurst. If you'll stand up and wave. You want to tell them a little bit about, like, kind of where you went to school, what you went to school for, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. So I went to James Madison University, completed a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in Sport and Recreation Management, and I double minored in general business and coaching education. And I'm excited to be here, grateful for the opportunity.
Good news.
Right. Thank you.
This is good. Addie has come at probably, I don't know if I want to say the best time or the worst time, but her season is getting ready to be very busy.
Yeah.
And she is handling it like a champ. I drove out there to check on the aqua park installation, and what do I see? I just stopped in the roadway going up to the dam there, and I said, I see you. Out there lining the soccer fields. So she has jumped in, and I'm very appreciative.
Welcome.
That's great.
I'm glad she's the director. I think she's gonna be good, but before, from the old one, that I had complaints about beer cans and fishing at night and stuff like that all over the place, and they had to pick it up and put it in trash cans. So I'd like to see that to be enforced out there on the park. I don't know what code it would be for the town, there's no alcohol on the premises.
There are signs, no alcohol. And Dave, just FYI, Addie and I are working on night fishing dates. So
Okay.
it's coming.
All right.
Okay.
We'll make sure nobody's drinking and falling in the water.
Oh, you're
I got one more thing to say.
We need you patrolling at night, all
I
right?
got one more. There's a business.
That's right.
Councilman Fox, hang on. Do it.
There's a business.
Oh, do we, can you hold, we got public comment, then we'll do councilman comment.
All right.
We can have it. All right, do we have anybody sign up for public comment? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Leanne, you were done on miscellaneous, correct? Okay, I just want to make sure. No. Okay, next we have council comments, and Councilman Fox, you got the floor.
No, I think the businesses that are serving the town for over 20 years should be able to have one of the town of Tazewell bench on their property. And if they quit or leave, we request the bench to return back to the town of Tazewell. But they've been here over 20 years, and I think that, we should give whatever business wants a bench to represent the town of Tazewell. I think it'd look real good for the businesses when people comes in that want to sit down outside or something and talk. But I think that would be a good thing to see on this property, business areas. Now, a lot of them don't want one, and I mean, that's all right, but I think that if you're here over 20 years, I think you deserve a bench from the town of Tazewell. That when people comes in to visit from out of state, and they see that town of Tazewell bench there, and it's something to talk about and relax with. But I'd like to see if the town would donate, or to donate a bench, 2 benches at the Italian Village. They would love to have something there for the kids to sit on the bench and eat their ice cream and stuff during summer.
Do they not have a picnic table?
They're old. You said they're just going.
Everything's off tonight, John.
Now, are you wanting to, is your suggestion to start a program for all businesses?
All businesses that wants a bench in front of their property where people can sit down and talk. And, during the summer, it'd be a great place for, to go and sit and eat ice cream on the outside or their food. I mean, and the kids would love to sit on these benches.
Do we have a special bench that's made for this?
I think you're talking about the green metal benches that say town of Tazewell on it. We have one right here, right?
Yeah, and it's something for the business.
But can I make a suggestion to this? If we were to make this a program that we're saying any business with 20 years is eligible for this, I feel like we should do some research as far as how many businesses that we have that would qualify for that and how much money each bench would cost and a total potential cost.
Yeah, and I do know there's that recycling program where you could put in the plastic and you can get the bench. Wanda does that. So Tazewell today, like.
The garden club.
The garden club can help with that. So that would be maybe something like a tie-in where that cost would be nil.
I mean, it's something for the people, for the businesses that's been here over 20 years. Now, if somebody just started a business, this has to wait, to show themselves in this town that they're helping people in the town, and people coming in their town. And I think that would be a good thing to do for the rest of the town and the business owners.
Or maybe a plaque. Yeah. We could look at, make a motion to look at to start a program, I guess, or look at that, the numbers on it?
Just direction.
I was about to say, for this month, if we want to get direction to get us some numbers on those things, and then we can possibly make a motion on how to act with that next month.
Okay, I know that there are a number of businesses in town, so it may take staff just a little bit of time to do that research.
Right.
We do have audit going on by June 30th.
Right.
It might take us just a little bit of time, but we will absolutely report back on that.
Okay. I didn't know if there would be some business license that was quick and easy to reference, so, yeah, if we can do some research on that, and then that way we have numbers.
There are food taxes and all that they're paying in, but they're still here with us. And we need to give something to them that in reference to the town tax.
I guess what I'm not sure, are we just talking about food businesses or talking about all businesses?
No, the food.
Okay, because you said any business over 20 years, so I want to make sure what we're talking about here.
Reference to food.
Well, they could be the only one.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
You got McDonald's?
No, that's not food. McDonald's and Hardee's are
I beg to disagree. They're the ones who are paying the major portion.
I'm saying, I would keep it at privately owned businesses because I think it's harder on a privately owned eatery than a chain. I mean, Wendy smiles all the time, you know why? Profit. Killing on profit.
I don't think Wendy's would like to have a bench. If they want it, that's fine. But it'd be great to show that the town tap and give them some. And so they're always here to come there. We'll raise our taxes on food. So you look at those issues.
Well, Dave, as a representative for a business we're celebrating their 70th year this year, I feel like you're leaving people out.
Gosh.
Businesses.
You would get 3.5 inches,
I don't care any
right?
business. So half of it on Main Street there, and then you said
That's 3.5 inches.
on Main Street.
That's 3 benches in a chair.
I want a bench there.
Huh?
We want 4. I've been there almost 100 years.
A bench for everyone.
Longer than the music club?
As long as we're there.
Come on.
That's never gonna grow.
126 would be long enough.
Just so I have clear direction.
I'm just asking because they asked, and I'm just passing on. A reference, they want like to have a couple benches for the people coming in to sit down and wait for the food to be ready or eat some ice cream. I'm not being, sarcastic in reference to every business in town. Bullshit. I'm sorry.
But, no, let's.
Don't put that in there. It's just-
But I just wanted some clarification because when you started this comment, you said every business over 20 years, then you straightened up your
I'm talking
comment.
about restaurants.
Okay. So essentially, this is a one-time, or this is a one targeted benefit. Is that what you're asking?
I just relayed that.
No, you can't.
Okay.
All right.
So do we do all businesses or restaurants?
According to what Councilmember Fox asked for was restaurants only.
Yeah, we're restaurants, He's asking, he'd like to have some benches out there because, benches that he's built, splinters and just dig a hole. And just need something on for the kids to get out there to eat their
I
ice cream.
think our concern is that as a town, we can't just target one particular business.
Oh, he just asked, now he's the first one, is anybody else,
Well, yeah,
Forget it, I've already asked, I've already said it, whatever y'all want to do, no, I'm not going to.
no, we just need to make sure that we.
Give us a price on a couple of benches.
I can have a price for a bench fairly quickly. I just want to make sure restaurants, that is our focus.
If I understand the request, yes, restaurants. Don't make sure that. Are there any other council comments?
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I also had a request, but this was about Stills Lane and Hill Street, where the intersection there. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Like where the Trinity Presbyterian Church. Has there been any studies about some kind of like yield sign or anything? Because that is a very dangerous intersection, so I'm not saying I want this to happen, but I'm just saying, like, could we look at it like study-wise to see if there's something that we could put there?
Right.
It's almost like a hidden entrance, or a hidden or whatever you call it.
Two ways.
Yeah.
I've noticed that on the fire.
Well, and especially with our EMT and vehicles coming back and forth, you can't see over the hill as you're trying to turn out of Hill Street. So, it is, yeah, very, very scary. We gun it and just go. We're coming out of church, we're prayed up, and we just go.
We can do that, yes, that's okay.
Yes, that was great. All right. Are there any other council comments?
Yes, I got a council member comment.
Oh, here we go.
Dave, I appreciate your passion for, your proposal just a second ago, but as a board, I think we should set a professional standard that we don't use profanity in public. We've got better words. We can use our words better. So that's my council member comment.
And then, excuse me, I want to apologize about that issue, but when it gets to the game's seriousness, it's just, I get upset with this issue. You're just throwing back and forth all over, and that hurts me in reference to what's going on, but I apologize for what I said. I want you to put it on record. I apologize for it, because I said that S word. It just hit me.
Well,
I understand, I apologize, to the council, I apologize to the people in this council chamber. But daggone it, when it gets to the point where you're asking something for somebody, and you try to help the business people and also the citizens of this town. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm fighting for them, I'm fighting for the citizens.
Well, we feel like you're fighting for an individual, but that, we can't.
Like I'm saying, he asked, nobody else has,
But-
so I just request that.
Well, I understand.
It's over with, it's done. I'll be-
Well, I would like to clarify that when we have these discussions, I felt like all I was doing was trying to clarify the request. When the comment started, there was not a request from an individual or a business owner. The request was from you for a program for benches for businesses over 20 years. I was trying to clarify that statement when that happened, and you got upset, and that's okay. We're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to ask questions to clarify, and,
And we
it's
gotta
okay.
give Leanne,
We're not
we gotta
always-
give a direction, and saying, hey, somebody said they want benches is not direction. I like the intent behind the idea of going, hey, we recognize businesses that have been here, that's amazing, that's cool. But like, not just like, hey, somebody has old benches and they need new ones. Well, that's not a town problem. It's not a town problem.
So the only other thing I had, so a gentleman asked me on the back side of the lake, he said there was some like trays built for trash cans. And he said he thought there was a couple of trash cans missing. And they walk the lake pretty much every day.
Didn't Rotary sponsor those trash cans? As their project a few years
At one
ago?
point in time, it's been broken 20 years ago, they had the 50-gallon, 55-gallon plastic barrels that we blew. They were there at one point in time.
Can we just check on that?
Absolutely.
If they're not there, would Rotary replace them, Brad?
I have no idea.
Well, we have an MOU. I'm just kidding.
All right.
With that, are there any other council member comments? Just to make sure we're clear. All right, I'll entertain entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
You got a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion